So it was a fiery 90 minutes on the debate stage in Philadelphia. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris had never met before, and it didn't take long for the political arguments to become personal. The Democratic candidate attacked her Republican rival for spreading falsehoods on abortion and on immigration. And it seemed Trump struggled to stay on message and focus on issues where he polls well, like the economy. Well, let's start by listening to one exchange where Harris goaded Trump about crowd sizes at his rallies. Take a listen to what happened next.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. The people on television say my dog was taken and used for food.
I'm not taking this from
television. But the people on television saying their dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme.
Well, quite a moment there in the debate. And to talk about the highs, lows, and some of those downright bizarre moments, I'm with Alan Schroeder now. He's the author of Presidential Debates, Risky Business on the Campaign Trail. He's also a professor of journalism at Northeastern University. Hello to you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
First of all, big picture, how do you think the debate went last night?
You know, a lot of times debates are really hard to declare a winner and a loser because they both do things well and this and that. But last night was as clear a win as I've ever seen in a presidential debate. And of course, it was Kamala Harris who won the debate.
Well, let's talk a bit then about Donald Trump, because in the debate that he had with Joe Biden a while ago, there were concerns afterwards about Biden's mental acuity. Of course, his performance in the debate effectively forced Biden out of the race. Now we have Trump going on these tangents, talking about how the Democrats want to execute babies in the 9th month of pregnancy, talking about, as we played in that soundbite, immigrants eating cats. I mean, look, are Americans worried now about Donald Trump's mental acuity?
Sure. I mean, I think that's a fair critique. It almost felt like Harris did to Trump what Biden did to himself back in the June debate, just sort of exposing him as, you know, someone that you would have a lot of questions about, even if it was just your family member. So, yes, I think that this was a terrible night for Trump and is making people rethink, you know, how could this job be done by a man in this mental condition?
And Trump afterwards went into the spin room, didn't he? That's rather unusual for a candidate themselves. Does that suggest to you that he had a sense that his debate hadn't gone fully to plan?
Yes, I think him going into the spin room was evidence that he was having to do damage control, that you know, he was not taking a victory lap in that spin room. He was trying to draw attention away from the fact that he had had such a bad debate. And of course, he went right for Fox News and the people who were friendly to him. And you know, it was just a bizarre moment.
Well, let's talk about Kamala Harris then. The debate was a moment, wasn't it, for her to define herself in front of an audience of millions of Americans, because there are plenty of voters who say, even though she's been vice president, they didn't know that much about her. How do you think she did?
I think she did extremely well. I mean, if I had one critique, there were times she might have seemed a little over-prepared, but she was in the zone. She was listening. She knew exactly what she needed to say, when she needed to say it. And the thing that she was so effective at was drawing out Trump's worst qualities by goading him, by insulting him in a subtle way that really got under his skin. And he just imploded, you know, and as a result of all of that, the topics were her topics. The debate was conducted on her turf, not his.
And I'd be interested to get your take as a journalism professor on the role that the moderators played last night, because they took a more assertive role in fact-checking Donald Trump than they did during his debate with Biden. How important do you think that was?
I think that was really important, and I was glad to see that, because I think journalists in the U.S. have a tendency to not want to make waves when it comes to political topics. And so I thought the moderators handled this very well. And it wasn't as though they were, beating Trump over the head with it. They would just, when he made a misstatement, they would just come out and correct the record very calmly in one sentence and move to the next thing. That's the way it should be done.
And I appreciate you're a journalism professor, but I'd love to get your view, of course, on whether you think this is going to move the dial with those key undecided voters now.
Well, we shall see. I mean, right now the race is a statistical tie, and I think the debate was an opportunity to break the logjam one way or the other. And if it's going to break in anyone's favor, it will break in favor of Kamala Harris. And of course, it does, as you say, come down to those swing state voters in 6 or 7 U.S. states who will determine the outcome of this election. Just
a final thought from you. What are the chances you think that there'll be a second debate between the pair?
Well, the Harris campaign has already indicated their willingness to do another debate, and Trump is backing away from that as fast as he can. I don't think he wants to risk another humiliation in front of tens of millions of people like we saw last night. So I would be very surprised if there's another presidential debate this year.
Alan Schroeder, the author of Presidential Debates, Risky Business on the Campaign Trail. Great to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.